Apart from Noah Lyles, he pretty much puts me under his wing, so he's a great guy, and he's the only one I pretty much need for sure. Obviously lucky.
17-year-old Gout Gout said something surprising about Noah Lyles. No one expected it, and it instantly raised questions about their connection. Was it just respect? Or is there something more going on between the rising star and the sprint king? He stood at the starting blocks in Tokyo, not yet a global star by many measures, but with everything looking up. Gout Gout, a 17-year-old from Australia, had one thing in his mind: make every moment count in the 200 meters at the World Athletics Championships. It was his first senior world championship, and from the way he had trained, from everything he had done, he believed he belonged. Noah Lyles, already a household name in sprinting, was just behind him on the track this time. Lyles has earned multiple world titles in the 200 meters. He is confident, powerful, and experienced. He had stepped into the championship saying he doesn't plan to lose. That phrase was quiet but loaded. In Lyles' world, every step, every posture, every muscle mattered. In that moment, two stories would intertwine, one of legacy, one of incoming promise. Gout Gout is not just another teenager with speed. He shattered the Australian 200-meter record earlier in the season with a time of 20.87 seconds. That mark put him firmly on the radar, drawing comparisons to the greats. Many saw echoes of Usain Bolt: the long legs, the lean, powerful finish, the ability to surge in the second half of a race. Still, for Gout, this world stage was something new, something to test everything he had built.
Gout Gout and Josiah John out wide from WA. Josiah John, Gout Gout though now shows his class. Gout Gout from Queensland, 20.87. That is a national record.
He's in year 12 at school. He has final exams. He grew up in Queensland as a child of South Sudanese refugees. Every run, every record, every visible moment has carried more weight than just a result. To him, it's about proving he deserves to be here, not just in Tokyo, but in the broader world of elite sprinting. The World Athletics Championships in Tokyo brought together the best 200-meter runners on the planet. Noah Lyles, fresh off wins and expectations, started his campaign with a heat run in under 20 seconds, 19.99. He looked relaxed, sharp, ready, not pushing to his limit yet, holding himself in reserve but showing clearly where he belongs, among the favorites. Gout Gout's heat came with its own pressures. He was not just competing against opponents, he was competing against expectations. He wanted a personal best. He hoped to reach the semifinals. If he could, maybe finals. Every step forward left nothing between him and what many would regard as an improbable dream. But he prepared. The heat was his chance to show respect for his talent and readiness. He blocks. That has been identified as a weaker part of his race, something he acknowledges. But what followed was a familiar strength. Once he got settled into his running, he flew. He surged, overtook rivals, and managed to finish third in his heat with a time around 20.23 seconds. That was good enough to advance. Not perfect yet, but enough to keep the story going. Meanwhile, Noah Lyles didn't just cruise, he marked his territory. He ran clean, strong, composed. He looked sharp. He made it clear this was his event, one he loves. The 200-meter has always been his favorite. It's not just another race for Lyles. It's the one where everything aligns. Speed, curve running, acceleration, endurance. It's his moment. One of the most striking parts of Gout Gout's journey is not just his raw speed, but how grounded he is. He did not arrive in Tokyo saying he had already achieved everything. He admitted to nerves, butterflies. He said he deserves to be here, but also that he must earn every step forward. He speaks of fun, of enjoying racing, not letting pressure paralyze, not trying to carry expectations that belong to everyone else. An important thread running through his preparation has been the influence of Noah Lyles. Gout respects Lyles. He has taken advice about saying no when needed, balancing responsibilities, protecting mental space. Those may sound like small things in sprinting where milliseconds matter, but over time they compound. They protect consistency, guard against burnout, and help preserve joy in competition. For Lyles, the mindset is clear. I don't plan to lose. It is not empty bravado. It is carved from years of racing, winning, sometimes failing, and always pushing forward. When he runs, he knows what is expected. He knows what he wants, and he has trained to show up when it matters. That confidence sends a message to rivals, to younger athletes, and to himself. But talent and confidence aren't guaranteed. For Gout, a slower start off the blocks reminds everyone that every detail matters. Curve running, reaction time, staying relaxed when stakes feel high. Also, physical condition, heat, travel, the pressure of the world watching. Any small misstep can cost. He has to lift performance, not just in splits, but in mental focus. The semifinals will see tougher competition, more seasoned runners, more expectation. Each round, everything gets harder. Noah Lyles' challenge is to stay composed too. When you are identified as a favorite, everything becomes pointed at you. Rivals watch your every move. Psychologically, the burden can be heavier than physical fatigue. He cannot afford to underestimate anyone. He must execute in rounds, maintain sharpness. Mistakes at this level are costly. One bad curve, a poor start, or anything less than perfection can open the door for somebody else. When the semifinals roll around, the audience can look for certain key moments. First, the start. Gout needs to improve the first 20 to 30 meters. That could make a huge difference if he's up against top sprinters with excellent reaction times. Also, curve to straight transition. That's where Gout showed ability in his heat. Once through the bend, he opened up. If he can hold rhythm, stay strong entering the straight, he can compete. For Lyles, curve running and maintaining top speed without tightening up will be crucial. Another thing is psychological control, nerves, breathing, and focus. Gout has said he's learning how to stay calm under pressure. Lyles already knows that, but favorites often face the toughest pressure. How they handle expectation matters. Finally, fitness across rounds, semi and final back-to-back. Can they recover? Can they stay fresh? Their warm-ups, pre-race routines, mindset between runs will count. Gout Gout is more than just a promising athlete. He represents something rare, raw potential, combined with humility and balance. A young person who wants more than speed. He wants identity, consistency, and impact. He wants to show that he belongs among the best. The world is watching. For Australia, he is already a star. But big moments are those that define careers. Tokyo may decide how he is viewed, as someone who got close or someone who announced himself. Noah Lyles, meanwhile, is chasing not just another title, but legacy. He is trying to do what only a few sprinters have done, dominate across years, across rounds. The 200-meter has been kind to him, but he knows rivals are hungrier, conditions tougher, margins thinner. For him, this race is not just about medals, it's about standards, setting them, defending them, extending what is possible. As the semifinals get closer, all eyes are on Gout Gout and Noah Lyles. If Gout runs with courage and stays calm, he could surprise everyone. For Lyles, it's another chance to prove he's still the best when it matters most. This race isn't just about who wins. It's about pressure, growth, and the battle between a rising star and a champion who doesn't plan to lose. Don't blink. This could be the race that changes everything.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's been a long process. This time last year, I was at World Juniors, so coming out here in my first open outdoor season is amazing, and I'm really excited to be out there running against the best in the world.
Nobody expected a 17-year-old to arrive at the World Championships already holding a national record, but Gout Gout isn't like anyone else. Calm under pressure and fast beyond belief, the Australian sprint prodigy is stepping onto the global stage with serious momentum and something to prove. Gout Gout's road to Tokyo has been nothing short of remarkable. The 17-year-old sprint sensation first gained attention after dominating junior and state-level competitions in Australia. With blistering speed and maturity well beyond his years, he didn't just make noise, he broke records. Earlier this year, he clocked an astonishing 20.02 seconds at the Golden Spike meet in Ostrava, setting a new Australian national record in the 200 meters. Now, he's preparing to make his senior international debut at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. Despite being the youngest in the field, Gout enters with one of the top times recorded by any Australian ever. While many of his rivals are in their 20s, Gout remains undaunted, focused, and determined to make every round count. As he steps onto the track at Japan National Stadium, the anticipation is real. He's not just a teenager with potential anymore, he's a national record holder representing Australia on one of the biggest stages in the sport. Whether he advances to the final or not, His presence in Tokyo is already historic. And for a 17-year-old still finishing school, this is only the beginning. The world had just witnessed a glimpse of greatness. The 200-meter sprint is unforgiving. Every millisecond counts. But for Gout, 20.02 seconds was not the finish line. It was just the beginning. He had already recorded wind-assisted runs faster than this, including a jaw-dropping 19.84 seconds in Perth. Though not legal for record purposes due to the tailwind, that performance hinted at what was to come. His goal: to become the first Australian in history to officially dip below the 20-second barrier. Being able to run under 20 seconds is a great achievement, he told the media. When you get under 20, you know you can achieve more. Running 19 means you're up there for sure. Ambitious? Definitely. But unrealistic? Not even close. At these championships, Gout Gout knows exactly who he's chasing. Names like Noah Lyles, Kenneth Bednarek, and Letziel Tebogo dominate the sprinting world. Lyles, the reigning Olympic 100-meter champion and 200-meter bronze medalist, is a full decade older than Gout, but that age gap doesn't intimidate him. It inspires him. What makes Gout's debut so impressive is the context. Every finalist in the 200 meters at the Paris Olympics was at least 20 years old. 6 of them were 24 or older. Gout? He's still in high school preparing for exams while preparing to race the fastest men in the world. While many fans expected him to compete in the 100 meters too, Gout and his coaching team made a deliberate choice. They focused exclusively on the 200 meters, skipping the 100 meters at the national championships earlier this year. The reason? The 200 meter suits his strengths, especially his powerful finishing kick. The added distance gives him the time to hit top speed, where he truly shines. In his upcoming heat, Gout has avoided sprinting giants like Lyles, Bednarek, and Tebogo, who were drawn into other groups, but his race still features tough competition, including Zimbabwe's Makana Kaishe Charamba, 19.92 PB, and Jamaica's Brian Level, 19.69 PB, both of whom have broken 20 seconds this season. To reach the semifinals, he'll need to finish in the top 3 of his heat or be among the next 6 fastest overall. The pressure is real, but so is his potential. Usain Bolt knows what it takes to make the leap from junior phenom to world beater, and according to the Jamaican legend, the transition isn't always smooth, but Gout is proving to be the exception. At 17, Bolt ran 20.13 seconds. A year later, he dipped under 20 for the first time. Gout? He's already run 20.02. You do the math. There's something brewing here, a spark that could ignite into greatness. Gout has the numbers, the mindset, and now the stage. Let's put things in perspective. Had Gout run his current PB of 20.02 at the Paris Olympics, he would have finished equal 5th. That's just 0.56 seconds off the winner, Letziel Tebogo, and 0.32 seconds behind Noah Lyles. Let that sink in. A 17-year-old schoolboy was just half a second away from Olympic gold pace. And he's still developing. He hasn't even peaked. It's been a long time since Australia had a sprint star of this caliber. Not since Kathy Freeman's glory days has the nation been this invested in a track athlete. Gout is already drawing comparisons to Freeman, though he's the first to shrug off the pressure. "I'm not trying to put too much pressure on myself," he said, "just enough to go out there and run very fast." That level-headedness might be his most dangerous weapon. Off the track, there's more to Gout's story than times and medals. He was born in Ipswich, Queensland on December 29, 2007, the third of 7 children in a family of South Sudanese heritage. His parents, Bona and Monica, fled South Sudan via Egypt in 2006. Early in his life, he played competitive football, soccer, but shifted focus to sprinting around year 7 after a school carnival performance caught attention. His schooling at Ipswich Grammar has been central, simultaneously balancing being a top-tier athlete and a dedicated student. He's in year 12, preparing for his final exams, even as he competes on the world's greatest stages. His coach, Di Shepherd, discovered him when he was about 12. She rapidly pulled him out of minimal training into serious sprint work. By age 14, Gout was already breaking national U16 records in both 100 meters, 10.57 seconds, and 200 meters, and winning sprint doubles in state meets. Also important, Gout has a legal 400-meter personal best, 46.20 seconds, showing his strength over longer sprints too. These broader skills help his speed endurance in the 200 meters, especially during rounds in championship meets. The semifinals are just around the corner, and while the level of competition will only intensify, Gout Gout is embracing the moment. Should he advance from his heat, he'll have a shot at competing in the semifinals on Thursday and potentially the final on Friday night. No Australian man has reached a 200-meter final at the World Championships or Olympics since Patrick Johnson back in 2005. For Gout, even progressing to the semifinals would be a historic milestone, especially at just 17 years old. But whether he makes the final or not, Gout has already made a major impact. He's not just fast for his age, he's already a national record holder. His 20.02-second run earlier this year in Ostrava isn't a hopeful sign of future greatness. It's proof he's already competing at an elite level. With a clear mindset, strong coaching, and a country rallying behind him, Gout Gout is shaping up to be Australia's most exciting sprint talent in decades. He's not chasing hype. He's building something real. He might not take home gold in Tokyo, but what he has on his side is even more powerful: momentum, vision, and years of potential ahead. At 17, Gout didn't just break a record, he's redefining what Australia can expect from its next generation of track stars.
Menya moving away from him, Morizzi in the headband, a battle between these two, and Gout working so hard to get to him, and he gets there. Gout takes it by meter.
This 17-year-old kid from Australia just became the fastest teenager on the planet, and now he's about to face the world's best sprinters for the first time. While most high school seniors are worried about prom and graduation, Gout Gout is skipping class to compete at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. Let's back up for a second. If you haven't heard of Gout Gout yet, you're about to. This kid isn't just fast, he's rewriting the record books while juggling homework and exams. Born to Sudanese parents who moved to Australia in 2005, Gout has become the most exciting thing to happen to Australian track and field in decades. Just a few months ago in the Czech Republic, Gout lined up for his first senior race outside Australia at the Ostrava Golden Spike meet. He was competing against grown men who trained full-time while he was still attending Ipswich Grammar School. The gun went off, and Gout found himself trailing Cuba's Rainier Mena as they entered the home straight. Then something special happened. Gout unleashed a burst of speed that left everyone watching in shock. He flew past Mena and crossed the line in 20.02 seconds, breaking his own Australian record by 0.02 of a second. After the race, with reporters surrounding him, Gout kept it simple. "I feel good. New personal best, new national record in my first European race," he told them with the calm confidence of someone twice his age. But here's what makes this even more incredible. That 20.02 wasn't just a personal best. It was faster than Usain Bolt ran when he first raced at that same meet back in 2006. Bolt clocked 20.28 seconds, and we all know what happened next. 3 Olympic golds in the 200 meters and a world record that still stands today. The comparisons to Bolt aren't just about times. Watch Gout run and you'll see the same tall frame, the same smooth stride, the same way he seems to glide over the track. Even their career paths are eerily similar. Gout has already broken the same junior world records that Bolt once held. Now, Australia has officially announced their team for the World Championships in Tokyo, and Gout Gout is on it. At just 17 years old, he'll be making his senior debut on the biggest stage in track and field outside the Olympics. The announcement has sent the entire country into a frenzy. To understand just how big this is, you need to know what Gout has done to Australian athletics. Last year, nobody outside track circles had heard his name. Today, he can't leave his house without getting mobbed by fans. When he ran at a small local meet called the Stawell Gift on Easter weekend, 6,000 people showed up, double the usual crowd. He didn't even make the final, but nobody cared. Then came the Maury Plant meet in Melbourne. Gout was scheduled to run the 200 meters at Lakeside Stadium, and something unprecedented happened. 10,000 people bought tickets. It was the first sellout for a one-day athletics meet in Australia in over 20 years. People were driving from across the country just to watch a teenager run for 20 seconds. The media attention has been overwhelming. 14 Australian journalists have been given credentials for the World Championships, more than double the number who covered the last championships in Hungary. Both Channel 9 and SBS are broadcasting the event, creating an unprecedented situation where 2 major networks are covering the same athletics competition. Bruce McAvaney, Australia's legendary sports commentator, has been covering athletics for decades. When he talks about Gout, you can hear the excitement in his voice. McAvaney said this recently: He may be 17, but I think it's possible for him to reach the 200-meter final in Tokyo, which would be an extraordinary achievement at his age. Even Usain Bolt couldn't do that. That's the thing that makes Gout so special. When Bolt went to his first Olympics as an 18-year-old in Athens 2004, he didn't even get out of his heat. Most teenage sprinters take years to develop the strength and technique to compete with the world's best. Gout is doing it while still in high school. His coach is Di Shepard, a 60-year-old woman who used to work in the uniform shop at Gout's school. She's not a former Olympic champion or a famous track coach. She's a straight-talking disciplinarian who believes in hard work and doesn't sugarcoat anything. When reporters ask her about Gout's future, she doesn't hold back. "I'm not suggesting it. He's going to go to that level," she told Australian television earlier this year. Olympic gold. It might not be 28 Los Angeles, but definitely going to happen in 2032. That's significant because 2032 is when the Olympics come to Brisbane, Australia's third largest city. The numbers back up the hype. Gout's 20.02 seconds puts him in rarefied air for a 17-year-old. He's beaten every time that Bolt ran as a junior. He holds the Australian records for under-16 athletes in both the 100 and 200 meters. At the Australian National Championships earlier this year, he ran 19.84 seconds in the 200 meters, which would have broken the 20-second barrier. Unfortunately, the wind was too strong, so the time didn't count. Same thing happened when he ran 9.99 seconds in the 100 meters. But even his legal times are incredible. His 10.17 in the 100 meters makes him one of only 2 Australians to break 10.20 this year. His 20.02 in the 200 meters is the fastest time run by any teenager in the world this season. Here's where it gets interesting, though.